You know, I would I wouldn't be truthful if I would say this hasn't been a hard 10 days. Our hearts go out to the families, you know, and the Eubanks, the Van Hoosers, and the Musellis. Just our hearts go out to them. But I'll tell you, you know, we have two expectations that we go by. One is the academic part of it. We've done something that I'll put anywhere in the country, a team GPA of a 3.3. But most important is how you represent this university, how you represent the families, how you represent this football program. And every Sycamore out there should be proud of this team. And I know they are for how they've stuck together through these times and fought to the very end to get a W.
All right, questions?
I'm not going to ask you, Curt, to explain a bad snap because it happened and it helped you guys. But you know, what are you hoping for in that situation? Clearly that, but you know, do you feel like that was a little bit maybe of a reward for the way the defense played too? I mean, they didn't cause the bad snap, but North Alabama was rattled due to pressure through the game. I mean, how do you kind of process of?
Well, you know, that was their third quarterback, and so when you have to play three quarterbacks to get some things going, that says a lot about the defense. They couldn't get into a rhythm. At halftime, they had 40 total yards. Our defense kept us in it. There's no question about it, and they're going to continue to keep us in games, and we're going to get our offense going. We left a lot out there, but you know, I'll put it on our defense. They played one whale of a game, and you know, they had to go with three quarterbacks to get something going. And you know, you're going to have some mistakes like that, some miscues, and they did.
Curt, hey, before the season we talked. One of the things you told us about was Chris Reed's he's relentless on defense. The other thing that I remember you having a conversation we had was about what are all these red shirts going to do? And how are they going to perform? Want to talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we had 8 sacks tonight. We were very active up front. Feel our strength right now is with our defensive line. We've got great depth. We roll a lot of guys in there, and they're very active. You know, Chris Reed is the veteran. He's a 6th-year senior. He's been through an awful lot. He was the first recruit that we had here when I arrived. And he's put a lot into it, and he's playing outstanding football for us right now.
The defense was great all night, and Rylan Cole was around the ball hawk all night. 2 interceptions, seemed to make so many tackles for a loss. You don't want to single one player out, but talk about his individual performance for the defense.
You know, Rylan, we really thought was going to be a really good player when we recruited him. He was the only freshman that we didn't redshirt last year. And he played about half the season. And you know, he's a great player for us right now. He gets us lined up, and you know, we always talk about, you know, your heart and soul of your defense is right down the middle, and you got a really good inside linebacker in Jeffrey Brown, and you got a really good safety, and our interior guys are very active.
Coach, you mentioned the past 10 days and how it's been a challenge for you and your guys. The emotional toll that it's taken, how have you seen that kind of maybe impact the team positively or negatively, just in terms of the preparation that it took to get to today?
Well, you know, obviously it was a tragedy, and our hearts go out to the families. But I certainly look at it as a family. Our family got stronger, and they stayed together. Our seniors, you know, really looked after the younger guys. And you know, when you go through the process and you talk to recruits and their parents, and you tell them what great people we have at Indiana State, it really came out. And I've had more responses from our parents, of our players, on how you know, how it's happened. And you know, I can't say enough for our players. This was a difficult time. They got through it, and they got through it together. And you're not going to do that unless you have a close group, and we do. And you know, I said this back, you know, I don't know, I was talking to Sherrard, you know, I don't know how many games we're going to win, but I've never been this excited to coach a football team in all my career, and because of the character and the young men, and they care about each other. These guys care about each other, you know, and you saw that in the locker room, everybody was cheering, and they knew we didn't play well, but darn it, they were darn happy to get the W.
Coach, if you could talk about having Dakota back tonight, and was he on any kind of a snap count for you as well?
No, Dakota is on a full count. No restrictions on Dakota. We made a decision on Dante Hendricks. Dante is a great player. The expectation is at the position, and we had some guys step up. Dejon Collins made some great catches tonight, but we didn't have Dante. It's not an excuse. It's the next man up, and Dante wasn't 100%, and we're going to need Dante, and we're hopeful he'll be back Monday.
Curt, since you brought it up, what was Dante's injury? What's his prospects? And then also, what's your comment on the clock management in the last 5 minutes, 2 drives that didn't take a lot of time off the clock and gave them the chance to score?
Yeah, to answer that question, we throw the ball twice, 2 incomplete passes, and I had a chance to, say something about that, and I didn't. But I thought we had a high percentage throw, and they covered it well. But I got to do a better job managing clock. I got a great offensive coordinator, a great defensive coordinator, and I got to manage the game. And I could have very easily told him to run the football at that point and force him to use timeouts.
Coach, Gavin struggled through the first 3 quarters, and you always say quarterback has to have short-term memory. When the game, you needed a touchdown game on the line, he stepped up. How proud of you of the way, despite his struggles, he still made plays for you down the stretch?
Yeah. We have confidence in Gavin, and he's got to take care of the football better, and he knows that, and he will, and he's going to learn from some of the things that he has. But I'm not going to just yank a quarterback after one bad throw. I want to see how he responds, and but he's got to learn from those mistakes, and he will. And but we're just going to get that much better. The biggest thing I told the team at halftime, and I've said this every year, the biggest improvement we got to make is from game 1 to game 2, and we got to learn from that. But it's a heck of a lot easier to make adjustments when you don't play well off a win. And we got their attention. These guys will do anything that we ask them to do. They'll come back eager to learn and correct these mistakes and get ready for this next one.
Coach, as I was about to say, is like oftentimes that saying is the biggest improvement comes from the first game to the second game. What improvements would you like to see going into Purdue?
Take care of the football, scoring touchdowns. We get the ball inside the red zone, we got to score touchdowns. We can't be held for field goals. And we got a chance to be 14-0 rather than 6-0. And I thought going into the game, I asked them to do 3 things, Omar, and it wasn't anything that this team hasn't done. I told them to play hard, which is what they've done. I told them to be smart and don't get caught up in the in between plays, and don't get unsportsmanlike, and we didn't, and play the next play. And we didn't always play. Gavin may not have but you know what? Get ready to play the next play. And but we got to learn from those things, and we will as we move forward.
Curt, can you comment on the collective excellence of your front 7? I mean, 8 sacks, and it was a lot of gang tackling sacks, a lot of half sacks, which is a good sign of the pressure you're able to put on. Talk about how that influenced the game and probably influenced North Alabama to have to make quarterback switches.
We're playing with a lot of confidence on defense. We've played with a lot of confidence throughout camp. You felt them every day, and I think we got a chance to be really good. And the thing that helped us through camp is we've stayed healthy. We haven't had any. We've had here and there, but those same guys been playing a lot of football. They haven't missed practice. And And if you can do that, and it takes a little luck, you know, we got the best trainer in the country, and you know, he keeps them, gets them ready to go. And but you know, we were able to stay healthy. It gives them confidence, gives them continuity, and they're playing that way.
At risk of being melodramatic on a game where heavy hearts are a big part of this, and then you get a play that comes out of the clear blue sky to save you at the end, does it feel like there's a little bit more going on here than just a little bit of football?
Well, you know, it's I don't know. You know, you know, my dad used to say, you know, you've never been part of a bad win, and been part of bad losses. never been part of a bad win. He would always get my, you know what, if I was hanging my head after a W. Now you can learn from it, and we better learn from it. But you know what? Certainly think, you know, that the fight that the team had. You know, I didn't ever see any panic, and I really didn't. I saw the guys being calm. I thought the coaches were staying calm on the sidelines, and you know, I never felt, you know, I just felt somehow, some way we were going to win the game, and I just did. You know, I don't know why, but I felt we were going to go in there, and you know, I told Sherrard, I said, you know, I don't care what they put on our plate right now. We're going to find a way to win, and they did, and they found a way to get the W, and we certainly got to get a lot better from week 1 to week 2. Okay, guys.